Hello and welcome to patch 7.40b meta update. Today I will talk about the current patch, what is strong right now, and how to draft and play if you want to win MMR. Enjoy! The current patch is about 4 weeks old and right now it's becoming pretty clear what kind of playstyle is the most optimal to win the game. The big thing about 7.40 was regen change. As support, you're no longer able to provide regen efficiently to your allies. Basically what happened is health regen is more valued, making heroes that have any sort of healing in the lane better. But I think the main point of current patch is to win lanes, then convert that into map lead. I feel like there are two types of hero combos right now that do well. Either lanes that have some sort of sustain, or ones that just straight up win any 2 versus 2 fights. If you lose lanes in the current patch, it is going to feel so bad, so the best way to do it is to pick strong laners. So when we think about heroes in the current patch, I think there are two types of side lanes that are dictating the tempo. One is healing heroes that are self-sustained, and secondly, it's the Lane Dominators. For the first point, I think it's pretty obvious. If you're facing heavy harass lane, you would like to have any sort of heal, shield, or sustain that helps you. I think out of supports, Warlock, Witch Doctor, and Treant Protector are very good at that. This is one angle you can go for as support, as this will definitely make your course game easier. I've also seen Tinker being picked, and I think this is also good, although it's harder to pull off in pub games. But the second type of heroes, I think it's even more obvious. When you think about most of the meta heroes, they have very strong laning presence. Laning stage was never more important than currently, as it's harder to heal up as a core. So if you get harassed, you will fall behind as you need to buy regen yourself. That's why a lot of meta heroes right now are lane dominators, and the best lanes you can pick are two heroes that work together well to kill enemies. Starting from supports, I think a lot depends on what you've got as your lane partner. One hero that I have to talk about and I see every game, literally every single one, is Jakiro. He was strong before and after a small nerf he's peaked even more. This is exactly because what I'm talking about. Jakiro is a lane dominator that is probably the best harassing support in the game, and laning against him makes you buy more regen. Other than that, Task, Chen and Ogre are good examples of that playstyle. If you want to play support, I think you're best picking either healing supports or lane dominators. If you know that your laning stage will be worse than enemies, and this is mostly about position 4, what you want to do then is you skip the laning completely and drag some waves. But for that, I think you need heroes that are able to do a lot later into the game, as you are basically making your laning stage weaker, but later you will have a good game. You don't want to drag waves as nature's prophet or lion, you would rather have a tiny or Kotl for that. If you would like to see a tier list of support heroes, let me know in the comments. Going back to the meta, I think what's really important in the current patch is securing lane domination and closing enemy space, destroying enemy tier 1 tower on the safe lane. I made a video on this, and I think numbers wise, it's really underrated. I think meta right now in the first 10 to 12 minutes is revolving around that, and I can guarantee you, if you go back to check your history, you won way more games when your team got the enemy's safe lane tower first, and you've managed to defend yours for longer. Videos on the top right. And this is what is different in terms of current patch, according to Dota. Lane domination into tower pressure means you open up the map for yourself, close it for enemies, and that way you will win more games. That means out of carry position, you will see a lot of ranged heroes that are strong laners, especially with the right support. Heroes like Ursa or Juggernaut can completely dominate lanes with the right support, but a trend I've been seeing a lot lately is lots of ranged carries. When you think about it, position 1 heroes are the least likely to buy a lot of regen, so it makes sense for them to be ranged. The most picked heroes in my bracket are currently Gyro, SF, Klinks, TA, and Morphling. There are strong laners in terms of harassing as long as they don't get countered by other team. Having a melee support like Task, Treant or Ogre works best with them, and I feel like these combos will appear a lot in the current patch. Going to the offlane, what I've been seeing a lot is melee heroes that can at least get something from their lane if it's hard. As we saw before, current safe lane combos are really oppressive and it's hard to lane into them. This is why there's a lot of Axe, Tide, Timber and Mars as they deal with that kind of lane the best. When you check the latest stats for the ESL qualifiers, literally 16 most picked offlane heroes are that kind of hero. Melee, hard to kill, can be played in 1 versus 2 scenario. However, I think I need to mention that in your pub games, there is still an angle for range lane dominators, as long as you have the right support partner. I think Viper is probably the best one at that, and in the current tournaments, he's permanently banned. Other than that, I think Razor, Death Prophet, and Necrophos can be good pickup. The only problem is, if you get behind with these heroes, you will struggle a lot, especially if your team doesn't have a hero that likes to get in. And lastly, the mid lane. I think the current patch heavily favors playmaking mid laners, such as Ember, Tiny, Pack, Queen of Pain, or Void Spirit. Basically, what you need to be able to do is react to fights on the side lane and eventually be able to get the safe lane tower of enemy with your successful rotation. I think mid lane meta is one that changed the least because it feels like since the big hard blade mail meta, most of the heroes are still the same. That would be it for the playstyle and heroes. However, I still need to mention one item, Phylactery. It's been buffed, and a lot of the heroes that are picked right now can abuse it. Tiny, Axe and Phantom Lancer come to mind. I think as the meta is still shaping up, we will see more and more heroes buy that item. I'm not yet sure if this item will shape up the meta, because while it's very strong, it is also quite expensive, and only a group of heroes can abuse it. However, we've seen that with the Blade Mail, if an item is strong, it can completely lead certain heroes back into meta. I feel like the patch hasn't been figured out yet. I'm still expecting new heroes to emerge, as I feel like right now meta is shaping into certain playstyle, but a lot of heroes that are good for that haven't been picked up just yet. That's it for today. If you'd like to see a tier list for each position, let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching and make sure you subscribe to the channel to not miss out on any videos. See you!